Welcome to Dan Gaucher Golf, guys. Today I want to show you a little bit of what we look at as an instructor and we watch somebody swing. What specific body parts are we looking at that we want to change, that we might be able to move, might not be able to move. So I got my good friend Joe here. He's going to hit a shot for us. We're going to take a look at it on video and I'll show you guys what it is that we're working on. So go ahead, Joe, show us a good one here. Good swing. Very nice. So obviously this isn't the first time that I've ever seen Joe hit a golf ball, so I already have a couple of things that we've been working on together here. And one of them is actually his right shoulder. You'll see as he takes this club back, he actually gets his right shoulder stuck in this internal rotation and his elbow stuck behind him. So he's never able to actually shallow this club out as he comes down to impact. So one of the things that we have to do to check with Joe here before we get into changing his swing is, does he physically have the range of motion within that right shoulder to be able to do that? So I'm going to take this club away from Joe. And all I want you to do is just stand right here facing me and just put that right arm up. And I just want you to go into internal and external rotation a couple of times here. Good, and then into that external, very good. So what you guys can see as Joe goes through that motion is he's very good with the internal rotation. That's an easy one for him. It's that external rotation here that you can see will get him to here, and then he likes to try and go this little extra bit by actually raising his shoulder, which we can see very well from this camera angle here. So if we keep his shoulder actually neutral and relaxed, and we actually get him to go, you can see that's about as far as he can go before this pec muscle kind of stops him. We also will start to see that if Joe does try and go a little bit more, he starts to get a little bit active in this lower back, and he'll actually start arching his back to try and get the extra range of motion. So if we actually tell Joe here to just engage that core a little bit more, act like I was just going to punch you right in the stomach, so get a little bit tighter here. Very good. Bring that arm back up, stay there, and let's go through that same motion. So internal rotation, and external freeze right about there. That's about all he has before this shoulder starts to raise up. So he has a little bit of an impingement here on his chest, a little bit of tightness going on. So I'm going to give Joe this club back. And what we're going to start to do is we're going to start to retrain that right shoulder. So Joe, just take this club in your right hand only. And all I want you to do is just come halfway back with just that right hand on the club. Good. And now let's go all the way up to the top of your swing and pause. Very good. Now you can see if we put these side by side with this position and then the previous position where you had two hands on the club, that's an externally rotated shoulder. That club is in a little bit of a laid off position here. If he were to rotate down from here, that's a very good shallowed out shaft on his way down. You can relax, Joe. So go ahead, put two hands on that club now, and same thing, just go halfway back. Good, and then up to the top. You can see two very different positions for Joe. So we'd have to work with, you can relax, Joe. We would have to work with maybe a trainer, a physical therapist, somebody that could really help Joe with that shoulder girdle, really start getting those muscles working the way they should, get him his full range of motion. Then we'd be able to come back in here and start retraining that path of the club now that he has the proper range of motion. So this is a good one for Joe. We're going to let him use the weight of that club to start working that rotation, getting him into that external rotation, especially on that way down so that he can shallow that club out. So guys, make sure your coach is looking at your whole body, look at the whole mechanics of your swing so that he can better help those scores.